Jeff and Jeremy. It's like a radiogasm.
I said, hey, babe, check it out on the podcast.
Apple Podcast, Google Podcast,
and Spotify.
All this is going viral.
I got to look at my phone. Good morning, by the way. Got a new package arrived. It's supposed to be arriving today. I've still got a Gopher mole problem. We got them a couple years ago with a pretty good little setup. And then this son of a bitch.
Why don't you do that thing where you blow up the ground? What's that one? The Gophinator or something like that?
I would love to do that. But, I'm trying to say, my grass is destroyed.
Rodinator?
I got to replant everything. So we had something.
Are you going to get sod?
We had something called the cinch, huh?
Are you going to get sod?
No, I'm going to replant it. I already bought the seed, and it's all mixed together. It was a Costco deal.
Oh, God.
Big bag of it.
Of course it was.
I don't have very much grass, so, it's going to be pretty easy.
Sod is easy, though.
I don't need sod. I have this. This will work.
But sod looks so good.
Well, I don't care. I'm renting. You know what? I'm just trying to make it look good enough.
So you're going to reseed the whole thing?
No, I don't need to. Only just a little.
Oh, patch. You're going to
about half of it.
So you're gonna reseed it over
all the areas,
the existing.
Yeah,
okay.
And it'll look a little patchy.
It'll grow in a little thing.
So we got this gopher trap called the cinch, and it was great. And then I realized that we got a gopher a couple years ago, and they're a pretty big size. I was really surprised, like the size of a giant summer sausage. And
gophers are sons of bitches.
And then this time we couldn't get him with those traps. We're like, what is going on? It's like he's pushing the dirt right up through it. Well, then somebody told me, you don't have a gopher, you have a mole. So then Cinch, the same company, makes cinch mole traps. And I think we talked about it here, and other people that do landscaping, and Lawn Boy Kevin, I think, all said, hey, you got to get a cinch. So then, but the cinch isn't working. So we got the mole cinch. It's not working. This guy's laughing at me. He's pushing dirt up around. So my buddy turned me on to something called Gopher Hawk. And look at this son of a bitch. I can't wait to get this. That just looks like it's going to rip this thing apart, doesn't it? It's like a wand.
It looks like a police
baton,
but then weapon.
Wow. Oof. Oh, here's a video on it. I've never watched the video before, but this is arriving today, and I'm going to get this son of a bitch, and then I can fix my yard. But anyways, have you what are you doing? You told me once to use shards of glass. I don't have anything to do really. I don't have a problem. You've had issues.
Yeah, in Templeton. God, it was terrible. Yeah, no, I've heard that. So I've heard that both moles and gophers, but gophers for sure, and the verdict's still in on the moles. And I could be wrong about this because I've looked it up online. And some people say it works, some people say it doesn't, but they're hemophiliacs, meaning their blood doesn't clot if they get cut, and they will bleed out in the hole if you put shards of glass in the hole, or razor blades. And razor blades, those rust over time, and if you embed them in the ground, and they're not going to really hurt anybody unless they start excavating that area to do something with it. They'll be buried under the ground forever, so they'll bleed out. Under the ground, and then they'll decompose. So, it's just, they become part of the soil over years,
Just drop a bunch of razor blades down there. No, I guess glass would be a better way to go. That sounds very,
inhumane.
This thing is
great.
What's
inhumane? Pushing dirt up through my yard.
So instead of putting it in the gopher hole that he makes, because with the cinch one, you have to wait till the hole shows up, and before he fills it in, you got to shove the trap down. This, you just find where the mound is, and you try to determine where the tunnel is, and you use one piece to dig down into the ground, and then you put the Gopher Hawk trap in there, and as he goes through that tunnel, it picks him up and grabs him. Anyways, I'm really excited. I don't know why.
How would you rather die? Getting picked up and grabbed by a trap, or being cut by shards of glass?
I would rather be I would rather be snapped in a trap and just be done.
Does it kill him?
Yeah, it kills him.
Okay.
Yeah, it crushes him. They come through there and the thing spring loaded and it shoots up. Anyways, anybody use the Gopher Hawk? Do you like it? If you don't like it, don't tell me.
There's a lot of businesses around here that they take care of gophers for you. You should call one of the experts.
And then I got to call my landlord. I just was trying to do something without getting him involved.
But I mean, look at what you spent to this point. If you would have just called the gopher exterminator, I mean,
at least $300.
Oh God, yeah, they would have taken care of it.
But then what happens when they come back?
Well, then
you call them again.
You can probe these guys for some information. Or kind of watch what they're doing and say, oh, okay, I see what you're doing there.
So the cinch works for the gopher, not the mole, but I'm hoping that the gopher hawk works for both.
Whoa! Jeff and Jeremy in the morning.
Well, apparently it looks like these Zoom meetings have caught up with people in high-powered positions, including Canadian lawmakers. There was a member of Parliament who ended up naked on his Zoom meeting with, the Parliament. That's like the Congress, right? Like, so they have their meetings, they're doing it all socially distanced. So he's at home, and there's men and women, and everybody's in on this thing.
How
and
can
then
you be naked?
Here comes this naked guy.
You know that it's on.
He didn't know that it's on. Here's kind of how it went down. Now, you're first going to hear a woman who's the translator, and she's going to be translating the conduct that men and women, especially men, should do, and then his response.
So perhaps remind the members, especially the male members, that suits and ties are appropriate, or rather called for. And we have seen that the member was in very good shape, but I think that...
I think that... Do you think a guy would have said the same thing? Now, you're hearing a guy's voice as the translator, but it's a woman talking.
Yeah, okay.
And doing the scolding or whatever. But I just thought it was really funny that... And the guy is in great shape, right? I saw parse, just his chest. They blurred everything else out. But I just thought it was really funny that she's like, oh, yeah, but he's in good shape. I'll be thinking about that later.
We have seen that the member was in very good shape, but I think that this member should be reminded of what is appropriate and to control his camera. Thank you.
It's funny that she keeps talking about his member. I mean, keeps using the word member.
Merci. I would like to thank the honourable member for her observations. I missed that.
The MP was Will Amos, a parliamentary secretary and Liberal MP from Quebec, who issued this statement. This was an unfortunate error. My video was accidentally turned on as I was changing into my work clothes after going for a jog. I sincerely apologize to my colleagues in the House of Commons for this unintentional distraction.
So, accidentally turned on. All right, let's look at this from one or two ways. He turned it on, he forgot, which I'm guessing is what it was. Or you turn it on and you turn your camera off. So you're like logged into the meeting, but your camera's, you usually hit that button that turns your camera on and off. Maybe that somehow got activated.
Yeah. I mean, usually when you log into these meetings, you have to turn the camera on.
Right.
Like all the time I log into the meeting and my name's there and they're like, hey dude, you got to turn your camera on. I'm like, oh, sorry. And I go to turn my camera on. Or I kind of just don't, rather them not see me, to be honest with you.
But I mean,
like you have to go to the steps to turn the camera on.
Right. I've never heard of an instance where the camera just comes on by itself. Now, I guess there could be a glitch, but I doubt it because I would think everybody would be talking about the fact that the cameras just automatically come on. So I kind of think
and that service would be the least popular.
He turned it on and he either forgot or he was like, it wasn't a big deal. And then he walked right in front of it naked.
I think that's what happened. He turned it on in an effort to be speedy.
Now, is this a fireable offense? Maybe not today, but in 6 to 9 months, if this is still happening?
I don't know. I hope it's not happening in 6 to 9 months. I mean, come on. Everybody's getting better, right?
Yeah, but I think a lot more people are going to be working from home and they'll be doing Zoom meetings. I don't think that's going away ever. As a matter of fact, I only think more and more of that is going to happen. More and more people will start working from home. Sure. More and more people will start doing these video things.
Okay, so
and why is it always a guy? How come it's never a chick?
Because they're smarter. They're better.
They're more protective of their bodies?
No, they just have better, they're better versed on the ways of technology than men are. No, I don't know. See, the thing is, I could see this kind of happening if you're jumping in, jumping out, jumping in, jumping out, jumping in, jumping out of these meetings all day long, which I guess a politician probably is, because how else are you meeting with anybody? And To be a politician, this is why I could never be a politician. You do nothing but have meetings.
If I'm going to be naked, I don't even, I close my laptop. Like if my laptop's open around me and if for some reason I'm going to be changing, like if I'm in a hotel room, I'll shut the lid on my laptop or put a Post-it note over the camera. I don't want anybody. Yeah, because I don't trust any of that stuff. Didn't you see that Dateline where this woman was in her room and they hacked into her phone and her phone was dark, like this, like this, just dark, like it was sleeping. And the camera was on her the whole time.
Ooh, that's scary.
That was years ago. God, I remember watching that at least 2-3 years ago, maybe 4.
I'm gonna start putting Post-its on my camera on purpose during the meeting.
You ever see pictures of Mark Zuckerberg? I'm sure you've seen those online.
Just to see what people say. I'll be like, oh, I just keep a lot of notes on my computer. Because I do that. I do keep a lot of notes on my. I mean, I have like 3 Post-its on my computer right now.
Is that something you do? Do you are you paranoid about your cameras? I'm more paranoid about my laptop camera than my phone camera, and I don't know why. Maybe it's just because I'm very. There's no way I could cover that up all.
I must not be as important as you because I really don't care if anybody.
I don't think
turns my camera on.
I'm woke, bro. I pay attention.
Okay.
805-543-3693. Those are the 805 beer lines you can call or text.
You know that your term has no longer any meaning whatsoever when Jeremy's used it in regular vernacular. So, woke culture, you got to find something else. Sorry.